So a pre-shot routine is basically a procedure that you're going to use to get into your shot. Okay, it's going to take away stress. It's going to take away anxiety of hitting this shot. So let's talk about the three different parts of the pre-shot routine. The first block or the first section of our pre-shot routine has to do with analyzing the situation. Okay, so what does that really mean, right? We got to take a look at wind and the environment. We got to take a look at hazards. Is there a bunker over there? Is there a tree in the middle of the fairway? Is there water over to the left, right? All of these different things we got to take into consideration when we're talking about analyzing the situation. Before you even pull out a club to figure out what you're going to hit, you got to figure out what's going on in our environment, right? Is the wind blowing left to right? Is the wind blowing in our face, right? There's so many different variables, but just remember, this particular first block should only take about 10 seconds. Okay, this second section has to do with rehearsing what we want to do in the swing. Now that we've analyzed the situation and we know exactly what club we're going to use, now we have to figure out how we're going to go about hitting that shot, getting a feel for the shot. Okay, so what I like to do is I like to find out where the target is. We got our target, and I want to draw a straight line from the target all the way back to the ball. Okay, so I'll be over here and I'll be looking at my target, and I'll just say, okay, I got my target, straight line back to the ball. I'll definitely pick an intermediate spot, about maybe 1.5 feet or so past the ball towards my target line, and I use this primarily for alignment. So I'll get my intermediate point. I'll make sure that I'm aligned not to the target, but to my intermediate point. A lot of times what happens is, let's say you pick a target that's, way out there in the distance, 250 yards, right? And let's say it's a bunker way out there. You'll start aligning to the target and you start to do this, or you start to do this over here, okay? You're not aligning to your target line, okay? So get aligned to your target line by using an intermediate point. Okay, then the next thing I want you to do is just take a couple of really easy practice swings over that ball and over your intermediate point. And I want you to watch the blur of the club, making sure that blur of the club goes directly over our ball and our intermediate point. You want to get the feel for the shot, okay? And this is where your confidence starts to really build right now, because you're doing all the homework. You're doing everything you're supposed to do moving into this shot, okay? So the key thing here is target line, pick your intermediate point, and take a couple of practice swings and watching the blur of the club go right over that intermediate point. We have analyzed the situation. We've rehearsed our shot. Now it's time to take the shot, okay? The only thing I want you guys thinking about is sending this club head over your intermediate spot. That's the only thing I want in your mind. I don't want you thinking about your elbow or your feet or your knees or your back or the swing itself. I don't want you thinking about any of that, okay? Guess what? You've put the gas in the car. You've made sure the tires were inflated, okay? You've checked the oil. Now, all you have to do is press that accelerator to go, okay? The only thing I want you to be thinking about is holding on to the wheel, okay? And the wheel is holding on to this club and sending this club head directly over your intermediate point. Okay, now if you follow these 3 easy steps, anxiety goes away. You don't care, really, if you hit a good shot or a bad shot. You just stick to your routine. You stick to the procedure and everything else will take care of itself. Okay, the last part here is I want you guys to stay confident. Okay, confidence is the absolute biggest deal here, but you should be confident because you've analyzed the situation. You've rehearsed your shot, okay? And then you stood over the ball and only thing you're thinking about is one thought, okay? So you don't care about who's watching you. You don't care about what's going on with the environment or the hazards. The only thing that you're thinking about is sending your club over that intermediate point, right? With a very, very high level of confidence. I want you guys to stay loose. Don't get too static over the ball. Make sure that you are waggling, moving your feet a little bit, just like this, and just let it go. Okay, just let it go. It's just golf. It's not the end or the beginning of the world. Okay, now these 3 steps are good for tee box. They're good for in the fairway, chipping, anywhere you are playing golf. You can follow this pre-shot routine. Okay. Now, here's the key part of this. You have to practice your routine. I may go to the driving range and hit 40 balls. It may take me an hour and a half to hit 40 balls because every single shot I go through my pre-shot routine. I practice my pre-shot routine. You guys have to do the same thing. Then you will get comfortable when you're on the course, just going through your pre-shot routine, hitting your shot. If you fail at that shot, it doesn't go that well, that's fine because you put all the gas in the car. Okay, you check the tires. Everything is good to go. There's no issues with the car. You just got to hit a better shot next time, okay? And you got to stay focused, all right? Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. I really would appreciate that. And tell a friend. Just tell a friend. Love you guys. See you in the next episode.